Right. Yeah. So today class, okay, so we are going to discuss on the contract between dot equals method and hashcode method. Right? I think already we completed, right? So what is hashcode method? What is the purpose of hashcode method?
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes, sir.
everything we completed, and dot equals method also we completed. Right? How to override dot equals method? What is the purpose of overriding dot equals method? Everything we completed. Do you have any questions on that, guys?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions?
No, no, sir.
Please respond. Right. So now, yeah. So now we will go with okay the next topic, guys. We will see what is the contract between dot equals method and hash code method. Which is very important, guys. Okay. Contract between dot equals. I mean equals method. It's not dot equals method. Okay. Hmm. Equals method and hash code method. Fine. Right. So, right. So now, right. So what is the contract between dot equals method and hash code method? Okay. Now, see, if you are taking two objects are equivalent, okay, with respect to equals method, understand? If you're taking two objects, so which are equivalent with respect to equals method, okay, so those objects should have same hash code. Understand? So that is the contract between equals method and hash code method. Two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Understand? What is the contract, guys? Let me write it now. Then we will discuss in detail. Two equivalent. Okay. Now, two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Okay. This is the what, guys? The contract between dot equals method and hash code method. If anyone asks, okay, what is the contract between dot equals method and hash code? You should be in the position to tell if two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Understand? If two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Okay, don't worry, we will see in detail, guys. Fine. So now, yeah. So before going that, okay, let me explain one more thing. Now, so I think already we discussed on hashing algorithms, right? Come on, everyone. Hashing algorithms already we discussed or not? In the hashing algorithms, right? So the data Uh, the data will be stored in where, guys? Buckets, right? The entities we
Yes, sir.
represented in form of buckets. Come on, already we discussed, guys. This is what hashing algorithms. Okay, hashing algorithms. In hashing algorithms, what we have, guys? Buckets, right? We have buckets. So now, so now, now, so how the data will be inserted into these hashing algorithms, guys? What are the hashing algorithms in Java? I mean, what are the hashing algorithms? Hash table, hash set,
Hash
hash
map,
map.
hash set.
Okay, so these are the what, guys? Hashing algorithms, right?
Yes, sir.
Hash map, hash table, hash set.
Hash set.
So these are the hashing algorithms, right? In the hashing algorithms, how the data will be inserted, guys? Directly data will be inserted in the buckets based on the hash code of that object. Am I right? How the data
Yeah,
will be
yes.
Yes,
inserted?
sir.
Based on the hash code of that object. So here every object, every bucket has what? Some address. Let's
Some address.
suppose this address has 1000. Okay. So this address has 2000. Okay. So let's suppose this address has 3000. Let's assume. Okay, this is what? Bucket hashing address. Okay. Now two objects are came. This is the one object. Okay. And this is one more object. So now I want to insert these objects into where? This hashing algorithm. How the JVM will insert these objects into this hashing algorithms, guys? Like hash set, let's suppose this is student one object. So this is student two object, right? How the JVM will insert? Based on hash code of these
Yeah, code.
objects. Okay, let's assume the first S1 object hash code, let's assume 1000. Okay, then JVM will insert this object into where, guys? This
Thousand.
bucket.
1000.
Okay, the
Thousand
1000
bucket.
bucket address we have, right? In this hash address, this object will going to be inserted, right? In the same way, let's assume this S2 object has 2000. So before inserting the object into the hashing algorithm, JVM always check what is the hash code of that object. Okay, based on that, that object will be inserted into, okay, that represented
That
bucket,
bucket.
right? So now this object will be inserted into where? In this bucket.
Address of
2000
2000.
bucket.
Okay. So now what is the use of, guys? What is the use of hash code? Come on, already we discussed, guys. Hmm.
To create a unique value.
Hmm. Now, why we need to generate hash code? What is the use of hash code? What is the purpose of hash code? This is the purpose, right? If you insert based on hash code of that object, then the search operation will be easy. So if your
Becomes easy.
requirement is frequent search operation, guys, okay? If requirement is frequent search operation, what is the best algorithm you have to choose?
Hashing.
Hashing algorithm.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes,
in
sir.
hashing algorithm, the search operation will be become easy. Okay, so we can search that element very efficiently. Understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right. So now if the two objects are equivalent, if the two objects are equivalent, understand? Yes, see, if the two objects are equivalent, so if the two objects are equivalent means what? I mean, what does it mean, guys? If the two objects are equivalent, what does it
Same
mean?
hash or same hash.
Okay, so those two objects are same. Okay, equivalent means what? If you use equals method, what it will give you? What is the purpose of equals method? In order to check equivalent of two objects, we will go with what? Equals method, right? Whether two objects are equal or not. Come on.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
So now if
Yes,
the
sir.
two objects are equivalent, then those two objects, where it will store, guys?
The same bucket.
Same bucket. Okay, let's assume these two objects are same. These two objects are equivalent. If the two objects are equal means these two objects where it will be going, where it will be stored, guys, where it will be inserted, the same bucket it will be
In the same
inserted.
bucket.
Okay, let's assume so this one also, I mean these two objects are same, right? Equivalent, right? Okay, now these two objects will be stored into where? In the same bucket, like let's assume 2000. Okay, like this, all the equal objects where it will store, guys? Within the same bucket, right? Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Same bucket only it will store because all are what? Equivalent objects. Okay. So what you have to remember? So all the equivalent objects will going to store in same bucket in the hashing algorithm. right? So now, vice versa. Okay, let me repeat one more thing. See the first, I mean here, all the equal objects are going to insert in same bucket, right? Now, the objects, all the objects which are available in same bucket need not be equivalent. Vice versa is not possible, guys. May or may not. Understand what I mean to say here? So
Yes,
the
sir.
equivalent objects, okay. So all the equivalent objects are going to be inserted into the same object. Fine. So sorry, same bucket. Fine. Now, so the objects which are available in the same bucket need not be equivalent. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Vice versa is not possible. May or may not possible. Okay. All the objects which are available in the same bucket may be equivalent, may not be equivalent. Fine. But all the equivalent objects, what we have, all the equivalent objects will be inserted into the same bucket. Okay. Clear? Right. So now, see here. So what is the contract between dot equals method and hash code method, guys? Okay. Two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Understand? Two equivalent objects must have same hash code. Come on, guys. See here how the two equivalent objects can be inserted into the same bucket. Okay. This object
Hash
hash code
code is
also
same.
same. This object hash code also same. So that's what we can insert these two objects into where? Same
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 bucket.
hash
bucket.
code.
Okay. Now see here, two equivalent objects must have same hash code. So this is the word, the contract between equals method and hash code method. Okay. Now see, now I'm writing one class. Okay. So which class I'm writing? Class student I'm writing. Okay, guys. In the class student, okay. In the class student, int std student id. Okay. String std name, student name. Okay. So now I'm taking one constructor student int std id, comma string std name. Okay. Now this dot std id equals to std id. Next, this dot, tell me, this dot std name, right? Std name equals to std name. Constructor completed. Now psvm public static void main string args. Now here I'm creating first student object. Student st1 is equal to new student. Okay, of 101 comma, okay, Vignesh. Okay, guys.
Yeah, fine.
Now in the same way I'm creating one more object. Let me copy. Student st2 is equal to new student of 102
102.
something called Surya. Okay. Now student st3, okay. Student st3 is equal to st1. Okay. Clear? Now
Yes, sir.
system.out.println of st1 st1 dot equals st2. Okay. st1 equals of st3. Okay. Now system.out.println of st1 dot hashcode st2 dot hashcode. Let me copy this. st2 dot hashcode. Okay. The same way, let me copy st3 dot hashcode. Main method completed, class closed. Okay. Now, if you take, if you see this example, tell me guys, what is the output now? System.out.println st1 dot equals of st2. What is the output, guys?
Sir, false.
False.
False. Why false?
Content is not same.
Content.
Different content.
Different content.
Difference is
Reference
different.
We
variables
did
also
not
are
override the
different, sir.
equals method.
So now if I take 101 and Vignesh, what is the output now then?
Then
st1
also
equals of
false.
st2? Huh?
Sir, true, sir.
Tell me guys, what is the answer?
False, sir.
False.
Why false?
We did not override equals method.
Equals
Then why you
False, sir.
False.
false? Why false, guys?
Since it is
We
a
did not
student
override the
and we are not
equals method.
Equals method.
equals method.
Okay, so here st1 dot equals of st2. Okay, so now which equals method will call now?
Object class equals
Object class equals method.
Object class equals method will call. So I am calling equals method on which object? st1 object. What is the
st1
st1 object reference type here?
student type.
Student. In student class, do we have equals method?
We
We don't
don't
have
have it.
equals method. We did not override equals method in our student class. If you are not overriding, then which class equals method will be invoked? Object
Subclass
class
means
equals method will
object
be
class.
invoked. In the object class equals method, what is the implementation? How they implemented? Based on content
They will
or based on reference, address
reference.
reference?
reference comparison.
Reference
Reference
comparison. Now st1 object having st1 and st2 both are having two different address references or same address references are
Different address.
two different reference code, right? So then that's what st1 dot equals of st2, it will give you what? False, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on guys, false or true? False, right?
False.
Now tell me st1 dot equals of st3, what is the output here?
True, sir. We have not created st3 objects, sir.
Tell me what is the
st3
answer I'm
object.
asking. I'm not asking explanation, right? What is the
True.
output here?
True.
Why
Sir,
true?
true, sir.
Why true?
It is a reference comparison, same reference.
Yeah. So now we are creating what? st1 object, right? So now we are assigning st3 reference variable also to point the same object.
st1.
The what st1 reference variable pointing the object, that the same object st3 reference variable also pointing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is st1 here. This is I'm sorry. This is the object. 1 minute. Control Z. So now this is the st1 object, student1 object, pointing to whom? This object, right? Now
Same object.
what I'm saying, student st3 is equal to st1. Okay, I'm assigning st1 object to whom now? st3.
st3.
Means what? So st3 also reference variable also pointing to
Pointing to same
same object.
object.
Same object.
In Java, every Java object has what? Unique
One unique
hash
hash
code.
code.
Let's
Hash
assume
code.
this is having 1001 is the
One.
unique reference number, right? So now ST1 also having same unique reference number and ST3 also having same unique reference number. So now if you use equals method st1 dot equals of st3, then which class equals method will be invoked? Object class equals method. In object class equals method, how they implemented? Based on address
Reference
reference.
comparison.
So what are the address reference? Both are same.
Both are
So that's
same.
what here it is written true,
True.
right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now see, if the two objects are equivalent, okay, if the two objects are equivalent with respect to equals method, so what is the hash code of those two objects, guys?
Same.
Same one.
Same, right? See, object class follows this contract, right? In object class, equals method also implemented, hash code method also implemented, right? So now this contract between what is the contract between dot equals method and hash code method? Two equivalent objects must have same hash
Same hash
code,
code.
right? So now if you allow object plus hash code method and object plus equals method, okay, to be executed, so by that time that object class is following the same contract, right? So what already we discussed, it is following the same contract or not? See,
Yes, sir.
if
Yeah, same
if
contract.
if the two objects are equivalent with respect to equals method, okay, now their hash code also must be same, right? Now st1 and st3 are equivalent with respect to of equals method or not here,
Yes. Yes, sir.
right? So now if it is equal, what is the hash code of these st1 and st3?
Same.
Same hash code. Hello,
Yes, sir.
clear or not, guys?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Clear, right? So now here see st1 hash code is something 1001, let's assume. st2 hash code is something different. Then st3 hash code is what? Same 1001. Okay. Here let me write. Let's assume, guys, this is not okay actual hash code. We don't know what is the actual hash code. Just I'm trying to write here. Let's assume 1001 is the st1 hash code. Okay. So now if you print st2 hash code might be like 1002, let's assume. Okay. Now what is the st3 hash code, guys?
1001.
1001, right? See now, okay. If you're not overriding hash code method and equals method in our class, okay, please listen carefully, guys. If you're not overriding equals method and hash code method in our class, then obviously when you try to compare these objects, okay, the same class objects with respect to dot equals method, then which class dot equals method will be invoked? Object class
Object
dot
class.
equals method will be invoked, right? So now in the object class dot equals method, how they are, I mean, how they are implementing based on reference comparison, right? So now if you provide two objects are said to be equivalent means, okay, always always those objects as code also must be same with respect to object class. Am I right or wrong? So now, what is the
Yes, sir.
contract? Just now we discussed two equivalent objects must have same hash code. So this contract, okay, the object class is following. Am I right? Clearly, this contract object class is strictly following. Hello,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
right? Right. So now you okay now see. So now. So now the dot equals method, can we override in our class?
Yeah, we can over.
Yes, sir.
So if you override means what is the purpose? Why we need to override dot equals method? What is the recommended approach?
Content comparison.
Or content comparison, right? So always, okay, if you override dot equals method in our class means always it should meant for content comparison, not for reference comparison. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Right. So now, now, right. So now, if you override dot equals method, okay, if you override dot equals method in our child class for content comparison, okay, so then always you have to override hashCode method also in our class. Understand? So whenever you are overriding dot equals method in our class, okay, you have to override hashCode method also in our class. Why? Because if two equivalent objects must have same hashCode. Understand? 1 minute. Let me show you guys. Let me show you the example. Softwares, right? Where it's Eclipse ID. Here you have to remember the contract. What is the contract? If two equivalent objects must have
Must
same
be
hash code.
same.
If two equivalent objects means what, guys? Either it will be, based on content. So if you override equals method means, so how you override equals method? For content comparison, right? See now. So this is the equals method, right? Yesterday class, guys. Yesterday example. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now in this example, see now st1 equals of st2, st1 equals of st3. Okay. So like that we have written. Now, now st1 and st3. System.out.println of st1 and st3. What is the output, guys, here?
True.
True. Right. Why true? Because already we override equals
Equals
method
method.
for content comparison.
Yes, sir.
Right? If the two objects having same content, same data, then those two objects will become what? Equivalent. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
No. Fine. So now I'm trying to print hash code of these two objects now. System.out.println of st1.hashcode. st3, right? st3.hashcode. Understand? Here, when you call st1 dot equals of st3, okay, so based on the dot equals method what we override, so based on this dot equals method logic, this st1 dot equals of st3, it will become what, guys? True. Come on. Right.
Yes.
So now, if I try to print what is the st1.hashcode, what is the st3.hashcode, so can you please tell me what is the st1.hashcode and what is the st3.hashcode, guys, here? Will it be same hashcode for these two objects or different hashcode for these two objects?
Different hash code.
Different.
Hmm?
Different hash code.
Different hash code.
Different hashcode. Because why? So this is one of
We
the
can.
object. and this is one more object,
Another
Another
object.
object.
right? For every Java object, JVM will create what? One unique reference number.
Unique hash
So
code.
this object has some different unique reference number, and this object has what? Some unique reference number, right? Fine. So now here, which method I'm calling? hashCode method I'm calling. So when you try to call hashCode method, first JVM will go and verify which class? In the
Object
same
class.
reference type
Same
class. What is the same reference type class here? Student. What is the
student
reference
class.
object here? ST1. What is the ST1 object type? Student. In student class, it will go and verify. Okay. hashCode method. Do we have any hashCode method or not? Do we have any hashCode method here?
No.
No hashCode method. So in that time, where it will go and verify is object class
Object
hashCode
class.
method. In the object class hashCode method, how they implemented? Okay. How they generated hashCode, guys? So based on address of the object, and top of that they are using some pattern, some algorithms. Finally they will, okay, so they will generate what? One
Hash code.
unique reference number. That is called hashCode. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Hey. So that's why for this object also we have different hashCode, and ST3 objects also we will have different hashCode.
Different hash code.
Let me run. Okay, see that? These two
Yes,
objects have different hashCode or same hashCode?
Different hash code.
different hash
Different
codes.
hashCode. But what is our contract?
Must be
What is our
same
Two
contract?
hash
equivalent
code.
objects.
Must be same hash code.
Must have
Two
same
equivalent objects
hashCode.
should have
If
must hash
two,
code.
yes, if you said these two objects are equivalent, okay, always those two objects should have what, guys?
Same
Same
hash
Same
code.
hash code.
hashCode. Okay, so in this example, are we following the contract rule?
No.
We are not following. So in order to follow the contract rule means what we need to do?
Hash code override
We
the
need
hash
to
code
override
method.
the hash code method,
Yeah,
so
we
it
need
will
to
be same.
override. Yes, we need to override the hash code method. And in the hash code method, so what is the logic we have to provide? What is the logic we have to implement?
ST1 and ST3 should refer to same hash code should have.
Yeah, if any two objects have same content means same data, same kind of data. Okay, their hash code also should be same. So now how to generate hash code now? So what is the logic we have to write to generate hash code? So based on the content of the data. If the two objects having same content, okay, same data content, then we have to generate what? Same hash code. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no. So now definitely we have to override what, guys?
Hash code method.
hashCode method. So now whenever you are overriding equals method, compulsory you have to override which method, guys?
Hash code
hashCode
also.
method too. Understand what I mean to say here? Okay, whenever
sir.
we are overriding equals method for content comparison in our child class, okay, so immediately you have to override hashCode method also. Why? Okay, if two objects are equivalent, then always, okay, those objects should have what? Same hash
Same
code.
hash
So that is the contract rule you have to follow. Come on, because object class is following the same contract or not? Already we
Yes, sir.
discussed, right? So now here we are overriding equals method for what? Content comparison. Right? I am not at all interested what object class implemented. Okay? What object class implemented logic for equals method? I am not at all interested. I don't want to, okay, equivalent with respect to what? Reference number. I want to equivalent these two objects with respect to what? Content of the data. So that's what I am overriding equals method, and I am providing my own implementation with respect to content of the data. Right? So now here what is the contract? If you say two objects are equivalent. So always those objects should have what? Same hash code. Okay, that is the contract. So obviously, whenever you are overriding equals method in your class, you must and should have to implement what, guys? Hash code method
hashcode.
Hashcode
also.
method.
Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, clear.
Right. See now. So that is the contract, guys. See, this is very, 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 very important. Okay. People definitely will ask you. Okay. Initially, they will ask what is the purpose of equals method, what is the purpose of hashcode method, and after that they will ask. Okay. So now I'm writing one. Okay, one Pojo object. I'm going to insert this object into some hash table or hash set, some collection framework. Right. Tell me what are the methods I need to implement. What are the methods I need to write? So like that people will ask you guys. Okay. In real time, every every object, if you want to insert that object into hash set or hash table, okay, I mean data set collection framework. So definitely you have to override, okay, you have to implement two methods. One is equals method and after that
And
hash
hash
code
code.
method. Clear? This is very, 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 very important. Even interview point of view also it's important. Even OCJP certification point of view also it is important. Even for day-to-day programming life also it is important. Okay. Now see now. So what we need to do? We need to override which method?
Override hashcode.
Hash code method. Public
Public
int
int
hash code.
hash.
Okay. Now see. I need to how to write logic, guys, in hashcode method. If two equivalent objects are same with respect to content, if you say okay, equivalent objects means okay. So now all the equivalent objects should have what? Same hash code. So now how can you say these two objects are equivalent with respect to equals method? Based on the
Content.
content. So now we have to consider the same content here to generate what? Hashcode method. See now I'm generating this hashcode method. Return std id, obviously, right? Std id, student id, right? Every object student id must be unique, right?
Yes.
Std id plus, okay. So now std name, okay, std name dot equals method, sorry, hashcode method. Understand? Student id plus std name dot hashcode. See how I'm generating hashcode method here? Student id, okay, student
Yes,
id
sir.
plus
Student
std name. Std name means which type? Student name. Which type, guys?
String
Let's
type.
suppose Vignesh. Vignesh is the student name. What is the Vignesh name? I mean student Vignesh name type here string.
String type.
Right here, see guys. What is the instance variable std name type here?
String type.
String. So in the string class, okay, in the string class already they implemented hashcode method. Understand?
Yes, sir.
In string class they implemented
Already.
equals method and hashcode method. How they implemented hashcode method in string class? If the content is based on the content. Okay, so that's what I'm calling what? Hashcode method of string class. So it will written what? Some hashcode. So that hashcode plus our student ID hashcode. Understand? Okay, now see. Student st1 is equal to new student of 101 Vignesh. Okay, so what is the hashcode of the student now? 101 plus what is the hashcode of this st1 now? 101
101.
plus for Vignesh object, there should be some hash code, right? Who will return this hash code? String class will return. So that hash code will be appended with this 101, right? Now, st2 object. For st2 object, I want to see what guys hash code method. If I call hash code method on st2 object, then how it will be? The hash code will be stdid means what? 102.
102.
102 plus Sai Teja. For Sai Teja string, there should be some hash code. Who will return? String class will return. Because I'm calling hash code method on which object? String object.
String object.
std means what guys? String, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now for the st3 object. See, for the st3 object, what is the student ID? 101. Right? Now what is the student name? Vignesh. So now obviously st1 hash code and st3 hash code will be same or different?
Yes, same.
Same. Come on guys.
Yes, sir.
So now let me generate. See now? The same example. Are you seeing same hash code now?
Yes, sir. Same hash.
st1 and st3. Come on guys.
Yes, same hash code.
Yes, sir. Same, sir.
Okay, see, system.out.println of st1 equals of st3. Obviously, it will return what guys? True, because st1 content and st3 object content both are same. 101 Vignesh, 101 Vignesh. So because we implemented equals method for what? Content comparison, right? If these two objects having same content of data, then it will return what? True. Okay, so that's what here we will return what? True. Where is output? Console. Here true, right? This is one true. Come on.
Yes, sir.
So after that, here I want to print what guys? Hash code of st1 and hash code of st3. So what is the contract between hash code and
Two equivalent objects
Two
should have
equivalent
same
equals
objects
hash.
must
method?
be same.
Yes. If two equivalent objects, okay, must have what? Same hash code.
Same hash.
So that's why I override hash code method. Okay, to generate what guys? Same hash code.
Same hash
If
code.
any two objects having same content,
Same
same
content.
content of data. Okay. Now, if you override hash code method means which class hash code method will be called? If you call st1.hashcode means our hash code method will be called. I mean, our hash code means our student class hash code method will be called. Okay, this time object class hash code method will not be called. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Come on, guys. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No. So let me print guys st2.hashcode also. See now I'm printing st2 object. We have, right? Let me print st2. Okay. Here let me write st1 object hashcode. This is what st3. This is what st2. Okay. Now I want to print what? st1 and st4 also. Okay, let me print here. Now this is st1. This is st4. st1 and st4. Right? st1 equals of st4 means what is the output? True. Right? True means this st1 and st4 will become what? Equivalent. If these two objects are equivalent means what is the hash code? Hash code
Same
also
hash
should
code.
have
Hash code must be
same.
same.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now see, let me generate st2. Okay, run as Java application. And see now, guys. Clear?
Yes, sir.
See, st1 and st3 having same as code. Why? Because st1 and st3 are equivalent. st2 is different. Okay, that's what. If you see the st2 as code is something different, right? After that, st1 dot equals of st4 also what? Equivalent. Okay, so that's what you are getting true. Then hash code also see same hash code. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So now, so what you need to remember?
Two equivalent objects should have same hash code.
Okay. So always, okay, if you try to override, okay guys, if you try to override equals method in our class, okay,
Hash
you
code
have to
method also.
be override hash code method also. Okay, always, why we need to override equals method? Okay,
For the
Content.
content
for
comparison.
the content comparison. Okay, if you want to compare, okay, if you want to compare these two objects are equivalent or not based on the content of the data, then only we need to override equals method in our subclass and we need to provide the logic for content comparison. Okay, as part of implementation of that equals method. So immediately you have to override what? Hash code method too. Okay, why hash code method we have to override? Because there is a contract. Okay, if the two objects are equivalent, always their hash code also should have same.
Same.
Hope you people understood now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right now. Yeah. So now, see now. Right. So now, what is the first contract? If two equivalent objects must have same as code, right? Two equivalent objects must have same as code. So what does it mean, guys? The first case, what does it mean? Let's assume if you take R1 and R2, okay, any type of R1, guys, okay, any type reference of R1, either string class or student class or thread class, any type. Okay, R1 can be any type of reference, right? Now, if you see, if R1 dot, okay, equals of R2, any type of reference objects, okay? Let's suppose student one, st1 dot equals of st2. If it is true, tell me if it is true, then R1 dot hash code, okay guys, R1 dot hash code
Should be same. Like
should be
R2
same
dot
as
equals to
R2 dot hash
R2 dot
code.
hash code.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Should
sir.
written what? Should written true.
True.
Double is equal to operator, right? Because R1 dot hash code and R2 dot hash code should be same. Okay, if R1 dot equals of R2 is true, then R1 dot hash code and W is equal to RT dot hash code should return true. Clear the first point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now the second one. Okay, let me add some more points here, guys, on this. Okay, on this context. Now, see, if two objects are not equal, okay, if two objects are not equal by equals method, I mean what? If R1 dot equals of R2. If R1 dot equals of R2 is false. Understand?
Yes.
If R1 dot equals of R2 is false, then tell me
Then hash code is also
what about their hash code?
not equal. Different
Different.
hash code.
Different hashcode.
Different hash code. Huh? Hmm?
Yes, sir. Obviously, the content is different. Content
No.
is different, and so
R1 dot hash code and R2 dot hash code, okay, maybe, okay, may or may not be different. May or may not be different. Understand?
Yes, sir.
And R1 dot hash code and R2 dot hash code can be same, okay, may be same or may not be same. Understand?
Yes, sir.
May or may not be same. That is the right word. If R1 dot equals of R2 is false, then R1 dot hash code and R2 dot hash code may or may not be same, guys. Clear? Why?
Yes, sir.
See, R1 dot equals of R2 is false. Okay. So now let's assume, so when the R1 dot equals of R2 is false, so let's suppose two objects we
Content is
have.
different.
If the content is different, let's assume the content is different. So in that time, R1 dot and R2 is both are
Not equal.
not equal. I mean with respect of equals, it will be false. If it is false means R1 dot hash code and R2 dot hash code should have what? Different.
different.
So
Come on. Always should have what? Different.
unique.
Okay. So no. So let's assume. Okay. So now when can be same hash code?
When content is same.
Even content is same also. Okay. So now if the content is same, then if you're not overriding equals method, then which class equals method will be invoked? Object class
Object
equals
class.
method will be
Object class
invoked.
same.
So now if the two objects having same content, even though when you give chance to execute object class equals method, by that time, what is the result of R1 dot equals of R2 if the even though content is same? False.
Yes,
False.
Right or
returns
wrong?
comparison. Yes. Yes.
So even though content is same, that time what do you call result? False, right? So that time, let's assume you override hash code method. You did not override equals method, but you override hash code method based on what, guys? Content of the data. So by that time, hash code can be same, right?
Yes, sir.
Understand the second point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
If we override and also if we not override hash code.
Okay, right. So no. So that is the second point, guys. Now, what is the third point? What is the third contract here? I mean, what is the third point here? Okay, now, if hash code of two objects are equal, understand? No, reverse. If hash code of two objects are equal, understand? If hash code of two objects are equal, means what? R1 dot hash code double is equal to R3 dot hash code is true. Let's assume. Then what about equals method now?
May or may not.
Right. Now then their objects may or may not be equal by dot equals method, right? If hashcode of two objects are equal, then okay, then these objects may or may not be okay, may or may not be equal by dot equals method. Am I right? Come on, guys.
Yes.
If
Yes, sir.
hashcode of two objects are equal, then these objects may or may not be equal by dot equals method. That's what we discussed right here. See, if the
Yeah,
two
sir.
equivalent objects should be inserted into the same bucket, right? But the objects which are available in the same objects may or may not be equivalent. Remember, that is the first point I discussed, right? So now, here we have all the objects here. Maybe these objects have what? Same hash code. Okay, but with respect to equivalent, with respect to dot equals method, these objects may or may not be equivalent. Come on,
Yes, sir.
clear, right?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes, sir.
no. So now the last point. Now, if hash code of two objects are not equal, if hash code of two objects are not equal, I'm copying, guys. Now, if hash code of two objects are not equal, okay, then these objects, tell me, what about these objects with respect to equals method?
May
Same
or
like
may not be
may
true.
man.
Then these objects are always not equal. And these objects are always
Always not equal.
not equal. Okay, always not equal with respect to what? Equal by dot
Dot
equals method.
equals method.
That's what, right? What is our contract, guys? See here, what is our contract? If two equivalent objects must have same hash code, right? If two equivalent objects must have same hash code. So now you can see, now see, what is the fourth point? If hash code of two objects are not equal, see, the hash code of two objects are not equal, then obviously these objects are always not equal by dot equals method. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Just reverse it, guys. See, if the two
Yes, sir.
objects
Understood,
are
sir.
equal, then their hash code should be same. Now, these hash code are different means these objects should be, should have what?
Different.
Different.
Different, not equal.
With respect to equivalent, these objects what? Different.
Yes, sir.
Clear? If hash code of two objects are not equal, then these objects are always not equal by dot equals method. See, if the both object doesn't have same hash code means, obviously those objects has what, guys? Not equal with respect to dot equals method. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now here, what you have to remember, you need to remember the first point, guys. What is the first point? What is the contract
Two
between
equal.
dot equals method and hash code method? Okay. So always two equivalent objects must have same hash
Same
code.
as code.
Okay. So whenever you are overriding equals method in your class, you have to implement what, guys? Hash code method too. Right? If you implement equals method for content comparison, then if any objects has equal with respect to content, okay, their hash codes also should be same. You have to keep that into your mind. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So that is the main point we have to remember. Now see here, to satisfy, I want to tell. Yeah. Oh, yeah. To satisfy, okay, above contract. To satisfy above contract between equals method and hash code method. Okay, equals method and hash code method. Whenever we are overriding equals method, okay, whenever we are overriding equals method, what we need to do? Equals method, right? Equals method. Equals method. Come on, guys. Compulsory, we need to override what?
hashCode method.
We need to override hash code method too. Okay. Okay. If you are not to override hash code method, what will happen, guys? Will not happen anything. Understand? So you will not get any compile time error or runtime error. But that is not good programming practice. Okay?
Okay,
So
sir.
you will not see
Okay,
any
sir.
compile time error, runtime error, but it is not a good programming practice. Okay? Always you have to follow that contract. Okay? Whenever we are overriding equals method, we have to override what? Hash code method too. You have to keep into your mode. Definitely people will ask you guys. Okay? So now this is the object. I want to insert into some data structure. So you tell me what are the methods I need to write. Okay. So what people will say, yes, I need to write setter and getter methods for the properties what we have in that class, in that class. So after that, okay. So after that, what are the methods you have to override? What are the methods you have to write? Like that interviewer will ask. So you have to tell what you have to tell, guys. Definitely you have to override equals method, okay, and as well as
hashCode.
hash code method also you need to implement, right? So
Yes, sir.
equals
Yes,
method
sir.
means what? For content comparison. Hash
Content
code method
comparison.
for what? If two objects having same content, then their hash code also should match,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
Because we are going to insert these objects into where? Hashing algorithm,
Galako.
right? Hashing algorithm, either hash set, hash table, or hash map, right? So how the objects will be inserted over there? Based on hash code, right? Let's assume two student objects we have. I'm trying to insert these two student objects, the same student objects. Let's suppose Vignesh is a student. Two times he came. I'm inserting these these two student objects into hash table. So obviously it will check what is the hash code. Okay, let's assume 1001. Go and insert into 1001 bucket. So now again second after some time again the same object came. So what is the hash code? 1001. Okay. Go and insert into 1001. Understand? So now we can avoid what? Duplicate. Already existing. One object already existed. Okay. So now the same object will be overridden over there. Understand? So we can avoid what? Duplicate objects, and the search operation will become faster.
Easy.
Clear?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
clear.
sir.
Right. So always while overriding hashcode method, what we need to remember, guys? So based on which parameters we are considering, okay, while overriding equals method. So we have to use same parameters while overriding what? Hashcode method also. Okay, right? Come on, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Based on which parameters we are considering while overriding equals method logic. Okay, equals method. Okay, equals method. Okay, equals method. So now we have to use same parameters while overriding hashcode method too. Okay, now let's assume I'm taking one more example here. See, string s1 is equal to new string of Santosh, guys. Let's assume this is one object. Now one more object I'm creating. String s2 is equal to new string of Santosh. Okay. Now system.out.println of s1 dot equals of s2. Okay. Now system.out.println of s1 dot hashcode method. Now system.out.println of s2 dot hashcode method. Okay. Now tell me what is the output here.
First one is true, then same hash code.
Right, same as code. Why, guys? Because
String class
in Spring
override
class, okay, they implemented equals method and as well as hashcode
hash
method.
code method.
Whenever we are overriding equals method, okay, always you have to override what? Hashcode method too. Okay, so this is the rule already Java people following. So whenever they are implementing equals method in their class, already they are implementing what, guys? Hashcode method also. So what are the parameters they are considering while overriding equals method for content comparison? They are considering the same parameters for while overriding
Hashcode
hashcode
method.
method too. Okay. Come on, guys. Fine, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so we completed, okay. So this equals method and hashcode method, okay. The contract between W is equal to operator and as well as equals method. And now the contract between dot equals method and hashcode method, everything we completed, guys. Okay. Tomorrow we will see the other method, the other methods in object class. What are the other methods we have? Get class. Okay. So get class method we will see, guys. Right. So these are the methods in which class it is available. Object class. Right.
Yes, sir.
String method completed. Hashcode method completed. Equals method
Equals method also
completed.
complete.
And
Contract also.
internal things also we completed on the hashcode and equals. Right. So now tomorrow we will see the other method, guys. Hashcode method. So now what are the other methods we have in object class?
Get
How many
class
methods we have? 11
finalize
methods, right?
11 methods.
ToString method completed. hashCode method completed. The third one is what?
Equals methods.
Equals method completed. Okay, now we need to see what get class method. Okay, so and after that what we need to see finalize method. Okay, I think already we completed finalize method, right? So no need to explain. Am I right? Finalize method, guys. Please go and revise. Already I think we
Yes,
discussed
already
about
completed.
Yes.
finalize method already we completed. So after that what clone method we have that we need to discuss. Okay, apart from that what we have that three overloaded
Wait.
methods. Wait,
Wait,
right?
notify all.
Wait methods, three overloaded methods of wait and notify all.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see total 11. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss get class method, guys. Once it is completed, directly we will go with what the next topic called string. Okay, string is very important. Okay, if you don't know string class, then better not to go with what interview, better not to go write OCJP exam, better not to be a Java programmer. Okay, so that much importance, guys, string class. Each and everything you have to learn in string class. Okay, we will see that,
Yeah, okay.
that string class tomorrow class. Okay, and tomorrow we will see the first get class, and after that we will see the next topics. Okay,
Yes,
guys,
sir.
thank you.